Welcome, we're here at the Reelworld Film Festival 2016. We just watched an amazing documentary, Almost Sunrise. I'm sitting here with the producer, Marty Syjuco.
Hi, everyone.
You're watching that documentary, Almost Sunrise. What I want you to talk about, how did you get involved with this project?
So my filmmaking partner, Michael, after our last project, traveled around the country interviewing vets as a volunteer. And through that lens, he started to hear their stories and got to know and realize that there was a suicide crisis happening in the U.S. 22 veterans take their own lives every day, and yet no one was talking about it. The kernel, the seed was planted in his mind. He was like, I want to tell that story, But at the same time, we didn't want to tell the same narrative that has already been told before through incredible projects, other film stories, like American Sniper and so many more. They tell the story of the coming home part, and then it ends when they get home. We wanted to pick it up where that ends, and 5-10 years later, like what's next for the veteran.
You had two people that you focused on, Tom and Anthony, and you took them across the 2,700-mile walk. And you're watching your documentary, you're watching them evolve and everything, and witnessing back to what they went through over in Iraq and then coming back and sort of having to focus on. What I want you to talk about now is, briefly about their walk and some of the major things that they discovered along the way.
Well, they actually took us on the journey. We followed them, and our style is to observe, But it was pretty incredible. What really struck me was the kindness of strangers. Because Tom and Anthony, the purpose of their journey was to spend a lot of time on their own so that they could reflect and they could process their war experience, which is something they never were able to do when they got home because school, family, work, But at the same time, their journey was almost 6 months for thousands of miles, and there were times they had to sleep outside on the side of the road, in the rain and the cold. I mean, they went through all the different seasons and all the different terrains and landscapes. But what was pretty incredible was that people, complete strangers, would drive by and see them and then would recognize them from either the news or from social media, like from Facebook, or from local press that was covering it, and they'd be like, oh, these are the guys. And so they would stop and, give them money or give them their food or pick them up and take them to their homes and open up their houses and give them a warm bed to sleep in. So for me, that was really incredible because being a New Yorker, you don't talk to strangers, you're kind of like disconnected with everyone. It's kind of like survival of the fittest. But in the small towns throughout America, it was really heartwarming to see that happen.
There was one part in there that I really, when I was watching it, I was like, wow. And that was when they were talking to the Native American. And as they're walking through that one opening, and all of a sudden it opens up, and they're seeing the scenery on the other side. Now, I wanted you to talk from your eyesight, when you were taken, by them through that, what were you seeing yourself?
Yeah, that's almost like the climax of the film because, their whole world changed, their perspective changed when Wolf Walker took them through those arches. But you could see and feel the difference with Tom and Anthony after that realization. It was so eye-opening for them, and that's when the real healing started happening. And what was cool during their journey is they met people like Wolf Walker, the Native American healer, when they went through Colorado, they also met a Trappist monk, Father Thomas Keating, at a monastery. They would meet a lot of these spiritual guides almost, like the Abraham Lincoln character in Manchester, Iowa, who planned a picnic, a community picnic, and everyone came out to welcome them. Even though their journey, they thought that it was just going to be the two of them, but when their world opened up, when they went through those arches, it became a whole different experience.
You were mentioning in there, I know in the panel afterwards, you're talking about you want to start some type of movement. What I want you to talk about now is, where can people go and look at this and get involved themselves?
Yes, so our website, we have a section called Impact, almostsunrisemovie.com, where it's early stages, but we are building a massive 2-year campaign. Right now, we're building a screening tour across America, and I'd love to do it here in Canada as well. I was having some discussions earlier about some ideas about that. But I think that we want to give people an opportunity to host their own screenings. That's what we're being asked right now. Like Michael, the director, is doing the Southern Circuit tour right now, and the other day he screened at a church, and the mayor was there, and he had tears in his eyes, and people were saying, how can I bring this film? I want to show it to my high school and to my library and things like that. So that's what we're trying to figure out right now. Is we're thinking of putting together a screening toolkit. Where you can have the film and you can also have like a discussion guide or a lesson plan for the class, because as you saw, the discussion that follows the screening, I think is really, really vital.
Well, it was an amazing film, and I just want to quickly add that you've been involved with numerous other projects that have been just as thought-provoking, and all I can add is just, keep doing what you're doing. Keep choosing the topics that are going to make us think, going, wow, that's really happening in our times, or that's happened, recently in our times.
Thanks so much. Yeah, no, it's so inspiring to be able to come to Toronto and share the film and hear from the audiences and talk to the media, because it's folks like you that make it happen for us, because we can make as many films as we want, but if nobody comes out to see it, then what's the point? So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for your time there, Marty.
Thanks, Reg.